Hi, I'm Jan Mays. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about hearing protection for travel. Just so you know, I'm a retired audiologist and I also have tinnitus and hyperacusis. I've had the sound sensitivity since I was a child, really little, and I've had tinnitus since about 40 years, I guess, since I was in my 20s after I had a head injury in a car accident. So what I use for hearing protection might be different from someone with normal hearing health, but it's still important to think about because whether you're at home, out and about, or going traveling, there's different situations where sound levels could be harmfully loud, or also if you have hyperacusis or tinnitus like me, that it could be uncomfortably loud where it might not bother other people. And so I always want to be prepared for that. I just want to say that I am not affiliated or associated with any product or company. These are just things that I use personally. So for traveling, situationally, I know I'm going to be at a hotel, I'm going to be on an airplane, I'm going to be taking buses. There's probably going to be amplified music because I'm planning on going to some shows and things. And there could also be unexpected sounds around me, including some of my trigger sounds. So I want to be prepared. So I don't need a lot of room for my hearing protection toolkit for travel. I've got it all tucked away into a nice little spot. I'm going to start with High-Fidelity and then talk a little bit more about higher noise reduction because I want both. My first hearing protection, I used to use these. I love Etymotic research, and I had my good old trusty ER20s that I've used for years, but unfortunately I've lost them and I haven't had time to replace them. So the other problem with those is that they're very high fidelity. They're fantastic for going to concerts, noisy restaurants where you might still want to be able to talk to people. But sometimes when I'm at a concert, when I'm using the high fidelity, the music is too loud and hurts my ears, so I have to take those out and then pop in a pair of more high reduction earplugs. So what I ended up getting is these, they're made by Loop. Can't read that on there, but it's a 3-in-1, I think it's called the Switch. So it has 3 settings, so you can actually just adjust it when it's right in your ear. I got mine on like the little, I don't like to lose them, so I got the magnetic cord, so it makes it easy to put around your neck and then it snaps together so you're less likely to lose them. They're super easy to get in. They come with different sizes of ear tips. And then once they go in your ears, you can just really easily, there's like a switch there. So you can go from what they call, they call it Engage, is the lowest noise reduction. It's high fidelity. It's meant really to be a social hearing protection. So that if I was somewhere where there were some loud things, but I still wanted to understand what people were saying or enjoy some music, I could use that one. If I want a little bit more noise reduction, if it's more amplified music or amplified sounds or more uncomfortable, then I can switch it to their experience mode, which is the middle one. And then if I just want high noise reduction, or the highest possible, then you can put it onto the quiet mode. So I like that you don't have to take the earplugs out and try and get a new pair inserted, and can just easily switch between the different settings depending on where you are. So I haven't had a lot of chance to try these out yet other than at some noisy restaurants, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how they are. I've read that some people do like using them on the plane, but for me, I'm going to try it, but noise cancelling headsets also are fantastic on the plane. They cut all that cabin noise right out, or at least cut it a lot lower and make it easier to hear what people are saying without that drone going on. So really there should be noise control in the cabin at the manufacturing and design stage of aircraft, but that's another story. Okay, so moving on from my Loop ones, like I say, sometimes I might feel like I need something that's a little bit higher noise reduction. So I have this style. Again, these ones are high noise reduction. They're easier to get in because you just kind of screw them into your ear canal, and then I can tug a little bit and make sure I've got that seal there. Theoretically, you want to have your go around like that and get them in that way. Anytime you're doing these types of earplugs, I can tug on it gently. I feel that seal. My voice sounds different. So I know that one's in right. Easy peasy. If those aren't high enough, then I have the traditional foam ones. And again, these are just in case the loop high noise reduction is not quite enough for what I need for comfort. So these are kind of like my little backup one. And then my last pair, I've talked about people with hyperacusis and tinnitus not recommending earplugs for sleep because it can aggravate the brain hyperactivity that's underlying our tinnitus perception and underlying our sound sensitivity and can make them worse. So the exception is I'm traveling. I don't know if there's going to be a super noisy air conditioner or super noisy heater in the room. I don't know, maybe, you know, the hotel ends up being right above a bar or across the street from a church with a big bell that goes regularly. So when I'm traveling, I do bring just a good, comfortable pair. These are tapered because I have smaller ears. So if you have smaller ears, a tapered style is going to be a little easier. Again, super easy to roll up and pop in and make sure that you've got that seal. Again, you want to be, you know, getting it really well inserted in there. I've been doing this for years. Yeah, this one's not inserted, right? No, so I would have to try that again because as soon as I tug on it, it comes right out. You want to feel that tiny bit of suction when you gently pull on it. So sometimes you might have to try 2 or 3 times with these ones. But I do bring them for sleep for travel. You know, like maybe on the plane, I want to have something like this in too. So as an exception for a temporary short term, you know, it's okay if you do need these. It's just that if you're at home and you have hyperacusis and tinnitus, you want to wean off of using earplugs for sleep because it's not going to do you any good for your brain hyperactivity in the long run. Anyway, so that is my 4 pairs of earplugs. One thing I will mention is because I have tinnitus, I can't use, or I prefer not to use earmuffs because it makes my tinnitus roar. So, you know, some people can't use earplugs and they might have to have some earmuffs instead. And again, you can get, you know, high noise reduction earmuffs are what we're most familiar with, but you can get high fidelity, including ones that are electronic, and you can click them on to hear voices or hear music and then click them off to be a higher noise reduction. So there's always options no matter what style of hearing protection is going to be best for you. So I hope this information helps at least one person. Remember, it doesn't take up a lot of room to be prepared and have your hearing protection toolkit ready to go, no matter whether you're at home or you're away enjoying a vacation. So if you enjoyed, I have more content like this on YouTube. I certainly have more information at my website on building a hearing protection toolkit if you want more info. Feel free to like, subscribe, or check me out on Instagram or my website. Links in description below. Have a great day and quiet cheers.